Yes. All right. Focus up, people. This is Scott Wilson with Dumbass Contractors checking in. Welcome to today's briefing. This morning's topic: what is a punch list? All right. A lot of homeowners, this is for my dumbass homeowners. A lot of homeowners think that they can critique a tradesman's work or a contractor's work all the way through the job. Maybe we don't like the way the sheetrock was taped out, or the drywall finish looks, or the piece of paint missing here. Uh, that's rude. All right, that's a breach of etiquette. You don't want to critique critique a person while they're in the middle of a process, middle of completing your project. A punch list is when at the end of the job, the contractor comes to you and says, "Okay, now I need a list of things that you want to have me fix, or that don't meet your expectations." Now, in my contract, I go with the National Woodworkers Guidelines. So, and it's written in there that we will follow the National Woodworkers Guidelines. They're very loose. I'd hate to be a national woodworker. It's a lot easier being a national woodworker than being me. But like on paint grade millwork, a quarter-inch gap between the between pieces of baseboard is acceptable. That can be caulked, and the painters can fix that. Trying to think what else. One of my architects told me one time, carpenters work within quarters and eighths, and cabinet makers work in 30 seconds. That's probably the biggest advantage to hiring me over a regular general contractor, is that my tolerances are much tighter on my woodwork and my millwork. All of my work, everything is tighter because I'm a cabinet maker. Now I can charge for that, and people will pay a premium for good work. Uh, you can have what's the name of the company? Allure come in and do a bathroom for you in 10 working days. Their guys know that the first day it's got to be demoed. The second day the carpenter has to rough in the plumbing and the electric. The carpenter, not a plumber, the carpenter. Um, they'll just give you a basic package with a low end shower body, with a cheap tile. The fastest way that you can get the job done. It's an acceptable bathroom. It's not a 30-year bathroom. It's going to start having problems in 2 or 3 years, but the tolerances aren't going to be as tight because Allure is on a very, very tight schedule. Those guys have to get in and get out in 10 days. Personally, I don't know how they do it. For me, a bathroom is 3.5 to 4 weeks if there's a lot of tile in it. The punch list comes at the end of the job, and you have to go by those guidelines. If you sign a contract saying that these guys can leave a quarter-inch gap in the baseboard and the painters can caulk it and fill it, well, if you don't like that quarter-inch gap, you can't really say anything about it because you agreed to those guidelines. Before you start criticizing and going in and looking at the problems, that's really an industry standard here in America. We've dumbed down the trades enough to where it's very hard to get good, fast, quality work out of what we consider to be master mechanics. We're lucky here on Long Island with plumbers and electricians. They tend to be very highly skilled, and their work is very, very good. When I first moved here, the electric work was marginal. The plumbing has always been good, but my house had 10 wiring problems. I'm surprised you could even turn the main breaker on. All right, so at the end of the job, I go to my clients and I say, okay, now I need a punch list. Is there a piece of tile missing? Is there a scratch on a toilet? Is the lid on the toilet missing? Does the toilet flush? And I ask them for a list of what they think needs to be done to get the project fully complete. If you come to a contractor in the middle of the job and say that you're not happy with something, that's a breach of etiquette. It throws everybody off. We're not thinking about final finishes or a final walkthrough at that point. We're just bringing things up to speed. What I do is I tell my guys, especially my painters, we're going to make 2 passes. The first pass, we're going to get 80% of the work right. The second pass, we're going to get another 80% of the work right. But 80% of the work that's left, we're going to get it right on that second pass. Now, sometimes my guys will look at me and go, "Oh, I already painted that." No, I wanted you to paint it quickly and make a quick pass through, because we're going to ding it up. We're going to bang it up, putting the, finishing the job. We got a window, an open window. I got stuff for you to do. Let's just make a quick pass and get out. We're not finishing today, but we're just making that 80% pass. Now think about this. I mean, 80 on a final exam is a B minus, and it's acceptable. All right. That's pretty much what the National Woodworkers Guidelines are. That's what people should expect out of their contractor. Now, a higher end contractor like myself, I'll come back and make that second pass. All right. So now I'm getting 80% of the 20% that's left to bring it up to speed. That takes me up to about 95% of the total. And that pretty much eliminates the punch list or any items that would be left behind that, needed to be touched up. I don't like to have any punch list at the end of my jobs. Usually I've got 10 things on the list that I'm not happy with. The homeowner or the architect or the general contractor will say, they don't see anything wrong, but I'm a little OCD about those things. I don't like to have a punch list at the end of the job. I like to stay right on my punch list, and that's kind of my job. I'll set Joe ahead of me, or the whole crew. Right now, it's just me and Joe Morera. But he'll be my horse, and then I'll just dance around him. Float in and take care of all the detail works. Trim a window out, put some baseboard in, caulk this, sand out a door. And my job is plugging those gaps in that 80% and taking care of that second pass, most of it, as we're going along. Everything will get done. It's a house. You don't need to argue with your contractor about little things in the middle of the job. You want to hire a contractor who completes work and doesn't have a contract, doesn't have a punch list at the end of the contract. That's key. That's one of my questions for when I'm interviewing for subcontractors. If I'm talking to someone they've done business with before, do they leave a punch list? Do they finish their punch list? And I want someone who's thorough on their punch list. I don't want to have to come along and check everything, double check everything, triple check everything, and manage a plumber or an electrician. No, that's their job. Their job is to handle their own punch list. And the guys that I work with are like me. They don't like punch lists either. Callbacks kill your profit margin. That's rework. That's rework, coming back and doing it again, bringing it up to spec. All right, project is done when it reaches specification. If I haven't asked you for a punch list, I don't need you telling me where there's a ding in the wall. I know that there's going to be a ding in the wall. Let it go. Relax. Let me do my job. Get out of my way. Facilitate it. Do we have water? You buying us lunch on Friday? Which bathroom can we use? Being polite, being friendly. All right. It's Friday. We're burning daylight. Let's get at it. Scott Wilson with Dumbass Contractors, urging you to stay loose, stay relaxed, most importantly, stay in front of it. Wilson out.